Welcome, seekers of the untold, to the dark silent. Some stories do not fade with time. They linger like a persistent chill in the air, their sharp edges of tragedy and mystery refusing to soften. They become part of our cultural fabric, haunting tales whispered in the dead of night. Tonight we journey back to a perfect Christmas, in a perfect home, in a perfect town, where a perfect family was shattered by a crime so brutal and so baffling that it remains an open wound in the American psyche. This is a story of a child star, a cryptic note, a compromised crime scene, and a silence that has stretched for decades, a silence where justice has never been able to find its voice. This is the story of JonBenét Ramsey. The morning of December 26, 1996 in Boulder, Colorado, should have been one of sleepy, festive joy. In the sprawling Tudor home of the Ramsey family, Christmas presents were still new, and the memories of the previous day's celebrations were fresh. But the peace was broken just before dawn. Patsy Ramsey, the mother and a former Miss West Virginia, descended the home's spiral staircase and found something that didn't belong. Lying there was a 2.5-page letter. It was not a holiday card, it was a ransom note. Written on a notepad from inside the house, with a pen from inside the house, it was a rambling, bizarre manifesto. It claimed her 6-year-old daughter, the beautiful and vivacious child pageant queen JonBenét, had been kidnapped by a small foreign faction. It demanded the specific sum of $118,000, an amount that curiously mirrored a recent work bonus received by JonBenét's wealthy father, John Ramsey. The note warned them not to contact the police, threatening that their daughter would be beheaded if they did. In a state of sheer panic, Patsy Ramsey did the first thing any mother would do. She ran to her daughter's room and found it empty. Then she picked up the phone, and her frantic 911 call ripped open the silence of the morning, launching a mystery that has never been solved. The Boulder police arrived at a scene of utter chaos. The Ramsey home, which should have been immediately sealed as a potential crime scene, became a gathering place. Friends, family, and even the Ramsey's minister were called and allowed to wander freely throughout the house. They offered comfort, made coffee and tidied up the kitchen, all while unwittingly trampling over, cleaning away and contaminating any potential evidence a kidnapper might have left behind. The hours that followed were thick with a tense, agonizing wait. John Ramsey, a successful executive, arranged to get the ransom money. The FBI was involved, tapping the phone lines, waiting for the kidnapper's promised call. But the phone remained silent. The instructions in the note stated the kidnappers would call between 8 and 10 a.m. The deadline came and went. The house was filled with people, with police officers, with a growing sense of dread. But there was no word, no demand, no proof of life. The outside world was being held at bay, but the real horror, the real suspense, was ticking away inside those very walls, as everyone waited for a call that would never come, because JonBenét was never really gone. By early afternoon, with hope fading and the logic of the kidnapping scenario beginning to crumble, Detective Linda Arndt took John Ramsey aside. She suggested he and a family friend conduct a top-to-bottom search of the house one more time to see if anything seemed out of place. It was a desperate last-ditch effort. John Ramsey went straight to the basement. It was a sprawling, cluttered space with numerous small rooms. He headed first for a window he had noticed was broken earlier. Then he turned his attention to a small, obscure room, a wine cellar. He opened the door, and there the thriller began. The search was over. Lying on the floor, wrapped in her favorite white blanket, was the small body of his daughter, JonBenét. A piece of black duct tape was stretched brutally across her mouth. Her wrists were bound above her head with a white cord, and wrapped tightly around her neck was a garrote, fashioned from the same cord and the broken handle of a paintbrush belonging to Patsy. In that instant, the entire narrative shattered. This was not a kidnapping. This was a murder. The little girl had been in the house the entire time, her lifeless body hidden just a floor below where police, family, and friends had been searching and waiting for hours. The monster wasn't out there, somewhere in the city. The crime had happened right here, in the supposed safety of her own home. The discovery of the body ignited a firestorm of suspicion and media frenzy that has never died down. The investigation, already crippled by the compromised crime scene, descended into a labyrinth of accusation and conflicting evidence. The autopsy revealed a horror far worse than imagined. JonBenét had suffered an 8-inch skull fracture, a blow to the head so severe it would have rendered her unconscious or killed her instantly. She had also been strangled, and there was evidence of a sexual assault. The focus of the investigation quickly and intensely shifted from an unknown intruder to the only 3 other people known to be in the house that night: her father John, her mother Patsy, and her 9-year-old brother Burke. The drama unfolded on a national stage. The Ramseys, through their lawyers, maintained their innocence, suggesting an intruder had committed the crime. Yet piece after piece of evidence seemed to tie the crime to the family. The ransom note was written on Patsy's notepad. Handwriting analysis suggested Patsy herself could not be eliminated as the author. The garrote was made from her art supplies. Undigested pineapple was found in JonBenét's stomach, a snack her parents claimed they hadn't given her, yet a bowl of pineapple with her brother Burke's fingerprints was found in the kitchen. The police and the district attorney's office were openly at odds, with investigators convinced the parents were involved, and the DA hesitant to press charges with a case built on such circumstantial, contaminated evidence. The family's behavior, from hiring high-powered lawyers immediately to giving a televised interview on CNN, was dissected and criticized. They were a family grieving, but to the public they looked like a family hiding a terrible secret. Every theory was a drama in itself. Did Patsy kill her in a fit of rage over bedwetting and stage the scene? Did John commit the act? Or, a theory that has gained traction over the years, did Burke accidentally strike his sister with a heavy object, like a flashlight, and did the parents then create the elaborate kidnapping hoax to protect their only remaining child? Decades have passed. Patsy Ramsey died of ovarian cancer in 2006, proclaiming her innocence to the very end. John Ramsey has continued to try and clear his family's name, funding independent investigations. Burke Ramsey, now a man, has given rare interviews, his awkward demeanor only fueling more public speculation. Grand juries have met. DNA evidence has been retested, pointing to an unknown male, but failing to yield a suspect, and hundreds of individuals have been investigated. Yet the case remains as cold and as controversial as ever. The JonBenét Ramsey murder has become more than just an unsolved crime. It is a dark mirror reflecting our societal obsessions with wealth, celebrity, and family secrets. The little girl with the bright smile, forever 6 years old, has become a ghost in the national consciousness. The truth of what happened in that Boulder home on Christmas night is trapped in a silence that will likely never be broken. A silence that leaves us with nothing but chilling questions, haunting possibilities, and the tragic, permanent absence of a child who never got to grow up. The theories surrounding this case are as complex as they are disturbing. The intruder theory, the Patsy theory, the Burke theory. Each has its own set of believers and its own mountain of questionable evidence. What do you believe happened that night? Who do you think is responsible for the dark silence that surrounds this case? Leave your theories and respectful discussions in the comments below. If this journey into one of history's most infamous unsolved mysteries has captured your attention, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to The Dark Silent. Make sure to click the notification bell so you are the first to know when we unearth our next story. Until then, listen closely to the quiet.